Alright, hello. I'm Edward Kranz of Kranz Books Bindery. I'm a bookbinder and conservator here out of Erie, Pennsylvania. So in this conversation, we're going to kind of go over some basic construction of our books. So a modern version, or a modern technique, is what's known as sewn-on tape. And what you do is you take your collected folios, put them into sections, fold them up, and you now have the makings of a book block. Each one of these sections, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the camera, they will get holes poked, spaced out correctly along the edge of the papers, and they'll all be registered and aligned, and they will be sewn on tape like this. Now this book has not been glued up, it's just been sewn, and you start off at the foot and you start what's known as a kettle stitch, and you end up sewing back and forth and trapping the tape in. The tape helps the book stay straight, and now you can do a couple different things with this. You can bind it flat, and it'll be known as a flat back, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can, now this is really rough, you can round it, then you can also round and shoulder it, which I'll show you that here shortly too. So this is a rather big book block. It's for a sketchbook. It's just blank paper to draw in. So once you have it sewn onto the tapes, now in this particular case we're going to make a flat back. You end up putting what's known as mulling on it, which is a really nice linen mesh, and you glue that down, and then you put a craft paper which protects the spine and the mulling, and eventually you put on the headbands. Now in this case these are just decorative headbands. If you were going to put on sewn ones, you do that before you glue it out. So the tapes are trimmed down, the mulling is on, this book is ready to be cased in. So I'd end up cutting a board, much like this one, the width of the spine plus one width of the board. That way when you make your case, and I'll show you that in a moment, you'll be able to case it in. Now the case for this particular book, this is one that I had made for a project that, an old saying, measure twice, cut once. So I ended up using this case. I will eventually use it on something, but the case is built by taking your boards, and this one here, it's wrapped in papers. It's got a cloth spine. There's another craft liner there. All right, so different ways of sewing your book. In the last video, we had talked about sawn-in cords. You can see that. Those cords are cut into the book block, and they're recessed, and then as they're sewn, they're trapped in. And then eventually, once you're done with that, now this one here also is not glued up, so that's all the further this one's got so far. But once you get done sewing it, now in this case, it's still your sawn-in cords, but I put the hinge, in this case it's a linen, and then over top of it, you put a hollow tube. Now the hollow tube is formed to the shape of the book, and as you open it, no, I don't want to do too hard. It flexes a bit, but I'm not going to open this up too far. And that way when you glue your leather down to it, it glues to the tube, half the tube, so it flexes while the other half flexes with the book block. This is going to be, in time, a guest book. All right. One of the other types of bindings that we do here, this is more of a medieval type binding. This uses a heavier cord, and as you see, the cord is sewn on the outside of the book. So this one's been sewn and glued up. The pages are a heavy vellum, and they're lined. So eventually this one will get a full leather treatment, and I'll have to form the leather on and around. Now, I had talked about rounded and shouldered. So this one has been rounded, and as you see here, there's a ridge. So it's been shouldered. Now I'll show you tools that I use to do that. And that way the board will fit right into that groove, like that. All right, so those are the types of bindings I have to show you. I don't have any stat bindings or long stitch or anything like that going on. This is just different stuff that's in various stages across my desk at the moment. So I hope you found that insightful. Feel free to ask questions, leave comments. I'm more than happy to answer anything you want. All right, thank you. Have a great day.